Once again, I am wearing pink. Was never always a pink person, not until my mid-20s. So I'm not intentionally matching my backdrop. It just so happened that I did. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to episode 3 of the Purl Scout Yarns podcast. This is a real thing now, right? Because I've done 3 episodes. Like, this is legit. I'm getting comfy. Welcome back. I'm so excited for folks that are just joining for the first time. Welcome. For folks that are returning viewers, thanks for coming back and listening to me ramble about a bunch of crap. My name is Victoria. I am the owner of Purl Scout Yarns, and naturally, I always mess this up. Natural indie dyer. There we go. I'm a natural indie dyer, so I use natural dye extracts to dye on yarn bases, and I supply eco-friendly yarns. I'm located in New Jersey. It is finally getting cold, which is why I'm wearing, I'll talk about this in a second. I'm still getting used to the intro stuff. This is a fiber knitting, sometimes weaving, sometimes spinning, always dyeing podcast. I kind of do a little of everything. So you're going to see a little bit of everything in this podcast. So before I get started, like I did on my last podcast episode, Black Lives Matter. Black lives have mattered before. They matter now. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that conversation. Don't be a shitty human being. That's just kind of what I'm getting at here. I still don't like J.K. Rowling. As someone who is part of the LGBT community, she's a shit person. And that's what I'm going to say about that. I've already said my 2 cents about it. Yeah. If you want to engage in any educational conversations on those things or anything else in the world that's going on currently, I'm all ears. But I'm not here for trolls. I'm not here for people who play devil's advocate when it comes to people's livelihood and lives. So yeah. Let's jump right in. I don't have a lot of whips or FOs because turns out when you run a business, at least for me, I became much more of a monogamous knitter. So we're going to do FOs first. And I only have one because, again, I have been monogamously knitting because I've been very busy with the business. So first up, you were here last week or 2 weeks ago. I have finally come up with a podcasting schedule that like feels good for me and like achievable. Oh my gosh, I didn't tell you about what I'm wearing or like these gems of a thing on my ear. Okay, we're gonna rewind. So this, I'm gonna stand up a little bit, is my, I think it's called the weekend slouch or slouchy weekend sweater. I'll put it like here as I always do. This was my first sweater. It is by T. Wolf. Oh, I'm going to put the information here. I like barely remember the name of it because I knit it so long ago, and also the person who designed it. This was my first sweater. I also have the yarn information somewhere that I'll put, I don't remember, but I bought this yarn at Maryland Sheep and Wool, which is the closest festival aside from Rhinebeck, the most accessible festival, I would say. But I don't have to like stay overnight. This is an alpaca, baby alpaca, and baby pink. And it's very warm and it's very cozy. I don't know if you can tell this is my first sweater based off of my seaming skills. This is why I don't like seaming sweaters. So this sweater's worked the 2 panels in the front, 2 panels. So you work each, it's in 4 panels. So you do each panel. You sew them all together, and then you pick up for the armholes, and you knit the sleeves, which like picking up the sleeves part is not particularly agitating, but it's the seaming. And when I did it, I knit 1 panel twice, so they didn't fit the way they were supposed to. I basically knit the same side twice by accident. So I had to undo it and redo it. Luckily, these were like pretty big, if you can tell. They're pretty big stitches. So I used a pretty big needle. It worked up pretty quickly. I think the pattern is really user-friendly for beginner sweaters, knitters. And it's very cozy and like rests really well. I wear a tank top underneath of it just because it is, at least for me, this is see-through. But I will never knit this again because I don't like seaming. I hate seaming. I would prefer to knit in the round and like pick up for sleeves and like go. I'm not a seaming gal. It really agitates me and prolongs the sweater being done. Talk about these babies. Look at these cute cat earrings. I don't know if you can see the flecks. Can you see them? The flecks of color. So I bought these from, her name is Bunny D on Instagram, and I think on Etsy too, and she does these like polymer clay earrings, and I don't remember if I was wearing her cat ear. Maybe I wasn't wearing them last podcast, but they are so light, and my ears usually do pretty poorly with what I would call fake jewelry. However, yeah, people like to drive their cars really fast, so if you heard that, that's really annoying. It throws me off. Polymer clay. So these are so light, and I've been wearing these all day that they don't bother my ears. Usually my ears will like TMI but get kind of gross and like puff up and get like pussy because they were pierced with a piercing gun, so they're probably like not super happy compared to like my nose ring or like when I did have a belly ring that was pierced with a needle, so there's not as much trauma to the area. So how cute are these? I love them, and I just want to own all of her cat earrings. I have a black pair. I don't remember if I wore it last podcast, but they're like dangly and they're very cute. Let's talk about the eyes. So most of you probably know that I love Sailor Moon. I've had multiple people send me ColourPop Cosmetics Sailor Moon line, and every time I've gone to purchase anything from that line, it has been sold out. However, this time when I bought or went to the site, I was able to grab the palette. So I'm gonna show y'all. Look at this. This is what's on my eyes. So the thing that I was unsure. I mean, it's Sailor Moon, so I love Sailor Moon, but the colors where I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna wear this, or maybe I should just try. Also, it's like how cute is this? But look at these colors. How pretty are they? And so I just kind of decided that I was like, I like these three colors. I'm just gonna put them on and see what happens. And I think they turned out pretty cute. And so I'm actually really into this. I'm excited to like play with some more colors. Usually I go pretty neutral. That's how I've always been with like regular clothes and makeup. But it's Sailor Moon. And I really want the lip products, but I can't seem to grab any, and I don't know if they're gonna restock. I know they've restocked that palette like 4 times at this point, and they should carry it forever because I love it very much. Finally, we can get to FOs. I think I've talked about everything, but let's move on to FOs. Ta-da! Look. Can you tell that I really liked this pattern? This is the boyfriend hat by Purl Soho. I knit one for my partner, as I showed last podcast, with Miss Babs held double fingering weight. This time I knit this with a smaller needle, so I used a US 2, and I used my own yarn, Sailor Pluto. So she's very tonal, you can tell. I'm actually probably gonna end up redoing her a little in the dye pot, not the hat, but like the skein. I want it to be a little darker of a green tonal and still have these yellows and greens, but like her really dark green hair too. But I'm still really happy with it. And if you see all these flecks, these are all my speckles. I think I did a pretty good job speckling. I really love this colorway. I've never been, fun fact, I've never been a green person, ever. And I didn't start becoming a green person until I started dyeing yarn. And I think it was because I got to choose the green. I don't know, but I've really started to love the color green, which was not in my color palette before. And this green is like particularly really pretty. Oh, look at the tonal. I'm not gonna put it on because my hair is up, but this is for my best friend, Jess. If you watch this before Sunday, you now know what your birthday present is, but I knit them a hat out of this colorway because when I showed them this colorway, they told me they really loved it and they loved the speckling. So I thought, I'm gonna save a skein and I'll make a hat because they really love beanies. So this is my only FO. At some point I'm gonna make myself one, but I have other projects that I kind of want to do first after I like knit for everyone and their mom. But yeah, I don't have a whole lot else to say. I know that this can be like folded up as a brim, but I kind of like the like really slouchy look, and it's very stretchy. So I knit this in the smallest size the pattern calls for with a needle size down. I'm a tight knitter normally, but I think because I'm using yarn it's a little thicker, I went down so that it'd be a little more snug. And I used my Starry Fingering base, which is an 80% eco process superwash merino, 20% nylon. But yeah, that's all I gotta say about that. I'm really into the speckles of this, and I think it's really pretty. Sailor Pluto, y'all. I have one whip, and I'm hoping that it'll be done tomorrow night so that I can gift it to Jess for their baby Peter, who I'm very much in love with, who's a very sweet little angel baby. I'm knitting it out of the rest of the Sailor Pluto skein that I have. I thought, how cute would it be to have a matching beanie with your baby that your best friend made you out of her own hand-dyed yarn. I mean, I would love it, but. So this is, I can't even remember the pattern. I will put it here and in the show notes down below, but I'm making a baby hat. So I think it might be maybe a smidge bigger for him at the age he's at. He's 7, 8 months old. However long we've been in quarantine, at least in the US, is how old he is. So I think he's 7.5 months. He was a preemie, but I would rather knit this a little bit bigger so that he can grow into it. And it's not just like, oh, he wore it for 2 months and now he can't wear it anymore. And it's like kind of a waste, you know? So he'll probably get good use out of this. I'm hoping to at least 1, maybe a little past that. And it'll be stretchy. So I'm knitting this out of Sailor Pluto. I'm knitting it on US 1. Can we talk about this cute little stitch marker? Oh, can you see it? Yes, you can. Look at him. It's a little Animal Crossing hamster, which I need to get back to playing, and maybe I'll do that tonight, but I kind of need to finish this hat. This was from, oh geez, my brain is blanking. I'll put it down below. I ordered a Mystery Adventure Time sock skein, and it came with a mystery stitch marker, and it was this little hamster. So it's really cute. Yeah, so I see Jess on Sunday, and ideally I would like to have this done tomorrow night, which shouldn't be hard because I think I only have to knit like 5 more inches, and it's all stockinette, and it's a good TV knit. So I just have to just get on it. But I've been so busy dyeing, I haven't had a whole lot of time to knit. But I will say after I'm done this baby hat, it is project time for myself. The last couple projects I've knit for other people, and I really want to make the Cozy Classic Light. It's like the thing that's next in line after I finish this baby hat. All the whips I have. It's not very exciting because I've been really busy, but I have a bunch of other stuff to talk to you about. Let's see, the next thing is stash acquisition. I have one piece of stash acquisition that I bought, and I'm very excited about it. I normally don't buy single ply yarn, but it was the only thing I could grab out of her shop update because it is like being in a water of sharks. I was on 10 minutes before shop, like refreshing the page, and then when that fucking timer hit, I could only grab one thing. So look at this. This, if I butcher this name, I'm so, and you're watching this, I'm so sorry. But I think it's Brujera Lana? Oh, I think I got the first half right. But her yarn is so beautiful. And I love it. This is Pumpkin Patch. Yes, Pumpkin Patch. It is on her Mage base. It's a fingering sock. It is 437 yards. It's organic fine merino wool, and I'm like really into how squishy and soft it is for single ply. So normally I don't do a single ply, but I feel like I want to make a ripple bralette out of this. Like I'm kind of thinking this like really pretty bright orange and like a lower cut like slouchy shirt, and then you can like peek this. I think that's what I'm gonna do with it. But it's really pretty. If you've ever shopped her update, you know that it's almost impossible to get anything. I had my eyes on like 2 skeins that I was like, ugh, and I think the problem was that I didn't know what bases I wanted and I didn't look beforehand. So I just like tried to grab anything that wasn't traditional superwash, and this is what I got. I'm still very happy. I mean, like very pumpkin, very autumn. I'm so happy I bought her yarn. She's a gem of a human being and a sweet, sweet soul, and makes some beautiful stuff. So I'm really excited I got to snag this. And maybe the next one I'll get something, now that I know the base that I want, I can just bam, bam, wham, bam. But yeah, this is the only piece of yarn I bought. I've been really good about not buying, because it turns out when you're a dyer and you like the stuff you make, you save some for yourself. So I've just been adding to my stash from my own stuff. What is the phrase? Getting high on your own supply. Yeah, that's what I've been doing. I'm very happy with it. I like what I dye. I mean, I still support other folks. I have an advent. I have 2 advents coming. One is from Melanated Boho Bay. Amanda, she's doing a bats. I think it's a bat. I don't remember what I signed up for. I just bought it because I was really excited and I really want to spend more. So I bought more of her stuff. I'll put her info here. I think that's next month. I think it was like her birthday and I bought it over the summer. This was the first year I've bought Advent ever because I had the money to do it. So I did. And then my good friend Kathleen over at Republica Unicornia Yarns, I always fuck it up. Hopefully I didn't butcher it. I don't know if you're watching this, but she did a Christmas one. So as much as I would have loved to spend like $250 on an Advent, I went with the 12-day instead of 24. So I have that coming, what is it? I think December. And I still have my Plank and Stella yarn that I haven't used up. And I think after I make these next 2 sweaters I want to make, I'm like actually, I think that I remembered another FO that I'll talk about in a second. I think after I do this next baby hat, usually I'm like a 2-person project knitter. I like to have like something that's like mindless, like socks that I can just like watch while I'm doing watching TV. And then a project that requires a lot of my mental attention. So I'm like kind of challenged and like thinking in the moment. So I think I'm gonna cast on a pair of socks, and I'm thinking I'm gonna use my Plank and Stella minis and make like a Frankenstein kind of sock, which I did with Haverland's like little mini balls a while ago. But I remembered an FO. I finished my granny stripe blanket. I will pop in the picture right here because it's too big for me to, I had to be far away from the camera for me to even get it in frame. So yeah, pop it here. I finished it. I was just gonna keep going forever, but the blanket is now taller than I am and wider than I am. I mean, probably 3 times as wide. I really wanted it to be the size of our queen size bed and really cozy for winter, and I did it. And so it was all like scrap fingering weight yarn that I just did. I didn't have any rhyme or reason or plan with it. I just kept magic knotting so that I didn't have to weave in ends. And when I decided I was done, I finished it. and I'm really happy, and it's really cozy, and I like to sit in my little chair in my bedroom with it like an old person and like knit with my cat, and it's great, and I'm very happy with it. I want to make another one, but I don't know where I would put it. Or do I be really nice and I make one and like gift it? I don't know. Shop updates. Shop update time. Last time we talked, I was talking about Adventure Time sock sets. So pre-orders for that have closed. If you grab some, cool. If not, you'll have another opportunity to grab whatever is left after I send out the rest of the pre-orders. So I'll have some minis left over, and what I'm going to do is dye up their counterparts. So like Finn and Jake, if I have leftover Jake, I'm going to dye up however many Finns to match the minis of Jake I have, put it up, and then when it goes, it's gone. So I'm going to do that. I'll have a handful of them that will be available for purchase, and I'll probably put those up, let's say Monday. I'm gonna put it up Monday. No, Tuesday, because I need Monday to dry for photos. So Tuesday, and I'll put this in like my Instagram stuff. Tuesday I'll put up that I have however many in my shop, and I won't put the photo up of the thing on Instagram, or of the set that hasn't been revealed on Instagram, so that folks don't get, ruin their surprise. It'll be on my website so that you can preview like what all the sock sets look like, and then go from there. So you'll have an opportunity to grab some then. Now, after everyone receives their sock sets, even the additional like leftovers, there's going to be a vote. I would say like, I don't know, a week after I sent out my last shipment, of what colorways you want to see from that collection as permanent in the shop. So I'll have Instagram stories of like the sets, and you'll vote between the two characters. I have a feeling I kind of have an idea of like what folks are going to vote on, but I'd rather just have it up and have people decide. So Adventure Time sock sets. Next month's collection is Sailor Moon sock sets. I know, surprising, but that's what the people wanted. It was between that and Dragon Ball Z, which Dragon Ball Z I will get to at some point in time, but Sailor Moon sock sets won like by an overwhelming majority. So I've planned out the 5 sets. I probably won't reveal them until I dye them up, like the 2 weeks from now. So I'll dye them 2 weeks before the pre-order date goes live, and that week of pre-orders, daily, I will put a photo of the sets up. I'll probably do like the Friday before the pre-order starting, and then like Friday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, etc. We'll have a photo a day of each of this, like what each set's gonna be like, and you'll have an idea of what it looks like. Pre-orders will go live the first Friday of November at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'll have a countdown in my stories, and they stay open for a week. So I was gonna do like a 48-hour thing, but I realized that it's not really a long enough time unless I meet dye capacity. So I found that a week is a good amount of time to allow folks to order and do what they need to do. So Sailor Moon is next month, and I'll talk about that the next episode because I'll probably have dyed some. I have 2 new bases in the shop, one of which I would show you. I'll pop the photo here. One of which has been sent. My friend Kathleen bought it as soon as she saw it, and then the other one I have here, so I'll show you that. I have mohair now. I love mohair, even though I actually haven't knit with it, and I really want to, and I thought dyeing with it would motivate me more to do so. So this is my Astra base. All of my base names are like Galactic, Universe, Sailor Moon, Magic. So this is Astra. and this is mohair. It is 70% kid mohair, 30% silk. It is 1,075 yards. It's 50 grams, and this was dyed the colorway. It's been a long day. Winning Love by Daylight. So look at this beautiful halo. Oh, it's gonna knit up so nicely, how double with something. I'm actually really surprised at how well mohair takes dye compared to like some of the other bases, really just my Eco Moon base. But it like really loves dye. It's really thirsty. Also, I have labels. I'm a real dyer now. It's probably backwards. I don't know if you'll see it, but it's Sailor Moon font with all of the yarn information on my ball band now, as I'm a real professional now. So, mohair. The other base that I have just released or offered in my shop is my Cosmos base, which is 100% untreated blue face Leicester. My supplier doesn't carry Eco Process Superwash BFL, so I went with the untreated, and I actually really love it. It has beautiful stitch definition. Again, the photo will be in like this region. I think it's 2-ply, and it's just like really like curly and bouncy and like has like a woolly smell, which I didn't know if I'd love, but is really good. And then it takes up dye beautifully. I mean, it's beautiful. It's definitely not superwash looking. Superwash just like really makes colors pop, but it's like, I don't know how to describe. I mean, again, you'll see it, but it's really beautiful and I really love it. It's really squishy and buoyancy, and I've dyed a skein for myself that's sitting in a pot over there. I offer it in fingering weight right now, and in a week or two I'll have worsted. So I'll have it in fingering and worsted, and then I soon in the future, I don't know, in the next month or two, I'm hoping to offer Targhee. I think that's how you say it. I don't know. But I'm really excited. After I felt Targhee for the first time in like sock yarn, I was sold. I mean, it's sturdy and still really squishy. And it doesn't, I feel like merino feels dainty, but not like a break dainty kind of way, just different. And Targhee feels like sturdy and like, it's just like hardy. And I love it, and I'm very excited about it. Timestamp here of when I stopped talking about Adventure Time sock sets for folks that may not want BMO and Hot Dog Princess to be ruined for them. So pop to that if you want to skip over it. Otherwise, I'm going to show you BMO and Hot Dog Princess and talk about Cinnamon Bun and Tree Trunks. But yeah, here we go. This is Cinnamon Bun and Tree Trunks. How freaking cute is this? Look at this. I definitely am saving a set for myself because I'm mildly obsessed with this yellow. I was also not a yellow person until I started dyeing. But what about this limoncello yellow though, right? Very cute. Cinnamon Bun is a tonal brown. You can see. Oh, they're gonna make really nice socks. I think like a really like fall-ish pair of socks. I think I have 4 sets of these left after pre-orders, and those will go up on Tuesday. I don't have a whole lot, but I love these. I guess because I don't really dye neutrals as much, it wasn't as popular, which is fine. I tend to be more of like a bright color, different kind of person. But I really love these guys. Literally how. Sometimes I think I'm a real genius. And this was one of those times where I was like, wow, you really outdid yourself this time. So this is BMO, which you probably can see, but he is a tonal teal. So there'll be hints of yellow and like stark blue in here. It's hard to tell on camera just because of you can see kind of the difference here. But he is a tonal baby. And this is your full skein. This one was really popular, even though folks couldn't see it. And I really love it, and we'll be making one for myself. And then we've got Hot Dog Princess. Like, what is the true color of a hot dog than this? I think I nailed that one. Hot Dog Princess. She's so cute, and I feel like she's such an underrated character, as are a lot of them. I feel like she's an underrated character. So she is a true red hot dog brown. And I haven't turned her into minis yet, but she is also pretty tonal and like brown and like red brown, which is perfect because she's got like light brown ears. And this will be the mini. So like, how beautiful of a combo to have BMO as your full like your full main color, and then Hot Dog Princess as your heels, toes, and cuffs. To die for. I love these. I'm definitely keeping one for myself because these are really cute. And these, all of my Adventure Time sock sets are on my Starry Fingering base, which is 80% eco processed superwash merino, 20% nylon. And it's 3-ply and not high twist. I think I talked about this before, but I really don't like high twist yarns that feel like string. And a lot of traditional 4-ply superwash yarns feel like string to me. And I didn't really notice that difference until I started dyeing and saw how beautiful like stitch definition can be, and like when it's not plied really tightly. That's everything on shop updates. I told you about Adventure Time. I told you about Sailor Moon, Sailor Scout Halloween Advents have been out. People have opened them. Most folks have opened like a good portion of them, but at the end of this month, I think on Halloween I'm gonna do it. I think that'll be really fun. I'm going to announce the 4 or 5 colorways that I've chosen to keep as permanents in the shop because I had a lot of fun dyeing them and they're really popular. Folks really liked them when they saw them. And they're colorways that I would knit with. And so I'm really excited about that. And I'll show those on the next podcast. Next podcast is going to be like shop update central. But yeah, so at the end of the month, there'll be a bunch of new colorways. I'm deciding on what I want to sort of like, I don't know if phase out is the word, but like maybe take out of the shop for a little while. So like Magical Girl, like I've only sold like a skein of it. And that's fine. I don't know if like baby pink is everyone's color. But I'm sort of thinking about colorways that I maybe want to take out for a little while until I feel like putting them back, really. I decided to ask on Instagram in my last video questions you would like me to answer on the podcast. So I wrote them down, and I'm going to grab my notebook. A bunch of stuff. That's fine. I have to clean up. You can't see the floor. That is a mess of all of my stuff right now. Okay, so we're gonna go. I have a couple of questions, which is fun. So the first question comes from Christy at Foster's Fibers. What's up, girl? Who asked on my last video, what got me started knitting? I have always been sort of like a hands-on art person, whether that was at one point I was painting, I cross stitch, I do embroidery, I don't really sew. I had friends at the time who I would see knit, and I didn't know if it was something I could learn, or like my idea, I think as most people who aren't in the fiber world, is that like it's kind of old and like people make old people looking stuff, which is like fine if that's your thing. But when I was introduced into the fiber world, I realized that there is so much that you can make and do, and it is ever changing and more modern now. As you can see, this like really pretty sweater and like, you know, cropped stuff. So I just went to YouTube, as I've done with everything I've ever learned to do, and like watch some videos on how to do it. I bought like cheap acrylic yarn to start, and then I went ham on the indie dyed yarn. It did not take me very long to jump on that bandwagon. So, and then I bought like, you know, interchangeable needles. I don't do straight needles or DPNs. I only knit, and I've only ever knit on circular needles. So yeah, I've been knitting for 5 years now. It's really been 5 years. It's a long time. Man, some of my early stuff was rough. Next question comes from Becky at Tea Leaf Weaver. She asks, my favorite colorway from the Sailor Scout Halloween Advent. And this is difficult because I have the ones that I've chosen to be permanent are the ones that are like my favorites. I think that I love, it's between King Endymion and Magical Girl Punch. So, and you'll see this at the end of the month. King Endymion is like a very light tonal blue purple, like very light. So when you look at like anime photos or screenshots from the anime of him, a lot of his coat and stuff has this like very faint blue purple mix. And so that's kind of what I went off of. And then Magical Girl Punch, because it was Halloween theme, I thought how fun would it be to have a drink dyed yarn, and it looks like punch, and which is very satisfying for me. And it's this like beautiful cranberry color, and I'm very excited to have it as a permanent. I think it'll do really well, and also I really want to knit with it. So I think those two are my favorite. I can't pick one. They're just so good. I spent a lot of time being unsure how much people would love it, and then it turned out that I'm too hard on myself. Next question is from Katie. She is Quiet Comet Crochet on here on YouTube and on Instagram. And she asked, what got me into dyeing yarn? I've always wanted to dye, specifically because I feel like I always have to do everything. Half of why I do the things I do is because I feel like I have to do everything in life. So I have too many hobbies and too many interests. But when I lost my job at the circus school, I don't know if I've said it before, but I was a professional circus coach. I taught circus for a living, and a professional performer, which I still am, just I'm out of work currently. I thought, what a better time than getting laid off to try this dream that I've been wanting for a really long time, which is to, you know, dive into the fiber industry in a way that I haven't before and offer my little 2 cents of ideas that I have. And I wanted natural dyes, and I wanted to do something that I wasn't seeing being done with natural dyes, which is what I'm doing, is playing with them like they're acid dyes. I have no issue or like qualms with folks who use natural dyes like natural, I guess, looking, which is like rustic and like very natural looking. I wanted bright, fun, tonal, speckled yarn that's done with natural dyes, stuff that nature brings. And I think I've done a pretty good job so far, and I really like it. And I find that natural dyes feel more like a science. I've never used acid dyes, but I know there's pretty much every color under the sun already made. Whereas natural dyes, I have to sort of sit and like really think about like color theory. I've learned a lot of color theory through trial and error and like Googling what colors make what and when you mix them, what they do. But yeah, the other question she asked is how I decided on a Sailor Moon theme for my business. I've loved Sailor Moon since I was a very little girl. I used to come home from school and watch Toonami at night with my siblings, and Sailor Moon was on, and I was obsessed with that and Dragon Ball Z and Tenchi Muyo. I mean, like, anime central. It was like my favorite stuff to watch. And I love Sailor Moon, and I don't see enough Sailor Moon yarn in my opinion. So I wanted to make it. And that's what I'm doing, and I love it. And there's so much more than just the characters to that show. I've dyed stuff off of backgrounds, which are some of my favorite colorways, are like the night and morning scenes. And there'll probably be more of that just depending on what I'm feeling. So I've sort of built a brand on my love of Sailor Moon. And it turns out a lot of other people love it, right? Like, y'all seem to love it. And I love that you love it. Last question is from Sabrina at Sabrina J Crochet. And she asked, my favorite base to work with. I'm going to answer this in two ways. One is my favorite base to dye, and one is my favorite base to knit. My favorite base to dye, probably Superwash Merino, but like I think BFL has become my next fave to dye. It's just different, and it's fun, and it's very bouncy, and it takes dye very interestingly. And then my favorite base to knit with, I mean, probably Merino, but Targhee is probably going to become my top favorite after I knit this Cozy Classic Light. It just feels different and sturdy. I do love alpaca, but I don't supply it. I think the only other thing I wanted to talk about is that my pattern, the Magical Girl Cowl, comes out October 25th. I think next Friday I'm gonna announce bundles. I'm gonna do a little poll because I'm half and half on whether I want to offer it or let folks just like pick and choose from the shop if they're like interested in making it. My only thing about bundles is it would cost less for folks because there would be minis. The Cowl color work doesn't require a lot for the contrasting colors, so to have a whole skein, like you could probably then just like reverse the colors if you wanted, if you bought whole skeins. But yeah, if you're interested in seeing a bundle, I put together a handful of kits that include the pattern with it for release date. You would get it before. Let me know in the comments below, and then I'm going to put a poll on Instagram. Oh yeah, you can find me on Instagram at Purl Scout Yarns. I don't know how I didn't say that at the beginning, but I think that's everything. This is a pretty long one. I mean, when I cut it, it'll probably be like 40 minutes, but I think that's everything. I'm going to sit and do some knitting and relax because I'm very tired. I've had a lot of dyeing to get done. But if you like what you see, thumbs up this video, subscribe, tell your friends about it, or don't. But I've had a great time talking to y'all, and I'll see you soon.